Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable David
Mr. Speaker, isn't it funny how this government has gone from something resembling the love boat with the New Zealand public to Nightmare on Elm Street in just the space of a short few months? And the names of what has taken them there are already writ into political legend. Banks and the banana boat. The sieve that is MFAT. You know, the photocopier must have been going double time over there from what's arrived in the opposition offices. Macaulay is the exorcist. That's what this is. And the sleazy deals where the government has sold the law, things like, Warner Brothers, telecom broadband deal, MediaWorks, the company that Stephen Joyce used to own and then bailed out, and now Sky City. Now Sky City. And you know, the poor old opposition is drowning in a sea of riches at the moment. We are finding it difficult, Mr. Speaker, to know quite which scandal to touch on first, because at 11 o'clock today, the Office of the Auditor General said they were investigating Stephen Joyce and the deal with Sky City and John Key for the lack of due process, for the lack of transparency in the tender. And then at 1 o'clock, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Joyce issued a press release which said, we don't give a damn. We're going to carry on regardless. We don't care what the Officer of Parliament, the Auditor General, says. We're going to carry on regardless. Well, Mr. Speaker, exactly what will happen if the government does rush out a shoddy deal with one party's Sky City, and then the OAG comes out and says, sorry, back to square one? Could it be that Sky City could then sue the government, sue the taxpayer for non-performance? Could it be that the jilted suitors at the wedding could also sue? Morrison & Co, Infratil, ASB Bank, Auckland Council, Ngāti Whātua, what of those? Mr. Speaker, the word around the Auckland business community is now, have the rules changed? How do you get work done in this town? Do you have to invite the Prime Minister to dinner? You know, they may not have loved the form filling that went with MED tender processes. They may have sometimes chafed against the paperwork, but nobody ever said it wasn't fair. But in this case, let's just look at the timeline, Mr. Speaker. It goes actually right back to 2001, when none other than Judith Collins, the current Minister for ACC that people will have noticed is under just an incy-wincy cloud at the moment, was then the chair, the national appointed chair of the Casino Control Authority. And she approved 230 extra pokie machines to get the first Sky City Conference Centre built, and thus set the precedent. I understand the Beehive is trying to spin that as a Labour Party decision when it was taken by the chair of the Casino Control Authority, Judith Collins. Well, isn't that interesting? Fast forward to August 2009. MED does a feasibility study under Stephen Joyce, but none other than the Prime Minister, the Minister of Tourism, intervenes to say, stop work, nobody do anything on this until my mates at Sky City have presented their proposal. At the same time, Sky City's saying how well connected they are to the government, and only after Sky City's deal arrived is any sort of process restarted. Surprise, surprise, everybody else's proposals are bagged, and the government only negotiates with one partner, Sky City. How very, very interesting. Why would any government negotiate with only one tenderer, giving themselves no fallback position, and thus losing any guarantee that the taxpayer would get the best value? That will be one of the questions the OAG will seek to answer. And why did the government not treat all parties to that tender equally? Why did they not give ASB the same chance they gave Sky City? Why did they not give Infratil the same chance they gave Sky City? Answer easy. The board hadn't invited John Key to dinner. Well, I don't know that that's going to be good enough for the Auditor General's office. And when and if it's not, then the question will be asked, why did Stephen Joyce thumb his nose at the Auditor General? thumb his nose not only at due process, but at the officers of Parliament.
Jonathan Young.
Mr. Speaker, I'm very pleased to stand and speak